I've just got me for a bit today, and I thought I'd show you what's going on in my garden allotment. I've kind of dug up the garden a little bit and put some veg patches and things like that in, and I am on a waiting list to get an allotment, but I don't think I'll be able to get one till next year. Fingers crossed next year anyway. It's a bit weird talking to everybody without Ash here. It's always nerve-wracking talking in front of a camera, but I will show you about. You can see what's growing. So as you come out our back door, it's this is the decking area, and I've overtook it with plants. In here, this doesn't get as much sun. I think there's some raspberry bushes growing. I think that's a supermarket potato that I just planted to see what would happen. I think some kind of potato anyway. Got the rose bush there next to the oil tank. We've got potatoes here, which I brought seed potatoes from the local hardware store / garden centre. So these are doing really well. They've been eaten a little bit by here. Well, I hope they're doing well. They've got some funky specks on the stem, so I don't know what that is. But this year is actually my first year for growing anything. I've you know, tried to attempt it once but didn't really learn anything about it. So we're all learning together. On this table I've just been using it as, you know, putting young plants on, and some radishes in here, and I've let that go to flower. We've got old strawberry plants. I have to say they don't look very healthy. Spring onions, cucumbers here, which, I don't know, they look a bit, they don't look great, and I don't know why that's a white stem there. I need to tie that back up actually. We're going to get strong winds tomorrow, up to 40 something mile an hour, so that's going to be fun. Lots of tomato plants. I'm just keeping an eye, make sure they don't get blight. The cutting that I got from a tomato plant's gone in that little one. Here I've got all those sweet peas and some broad beans, but these broad beans do have some kind of funky disease, I think. I've had to take some of them away and kind of give them a bit more air to breathe, because some of the stems were dying off and the leaves were going funny. But it actually looks a lot better. There's a couple more there. At the back we've got lemon balm growing wild and some oregano. Lots of calendula, which I'm collecting the petals from this, and I'm going to put into some oil to infuse and make some skincare products. Growing a thistle for some reason. There is some nettles growing in there, which I am quite pleased about, but I might put them in a separate pot or a separate little planter, and then I can harvest them then for tea and eating and stuff. In this little tub I've planted some carrots, some big carrots. There's another tomato plant there, but the leaves not looking too good. Don't know. Another strawberry plant. In here I have planted spinach, different kinds of lettuces, and then I've planted some beetroot, and gosh, what else did I plant in there? Radishes and parsnips. So they're all coming up. I think that's all I planted. Over here in that little basket is some lemon balm, but the slugs and snails have been at it, which is quite surprising because it's quite a strong smell. I've got chard growing here, all this bit. I've planted some small baby type carrots in there. Yeah, I can see that I think this is them coming up. So I need to cover this with netting. I've got a nasturtium here. I did plant some borlotti beans in, but they haven't come up. In here I've just let a supermarket potato go to seed and I've planted it. It seems to be doing quite well. I need to add more soil and fill the tub up, but if it gives us extra potatoes for free, then why not? More strawberries, so I need to pick that one before the bird gets it. And this one. These are very old strawberry plants, so I think they're about probably 4 years old, so they could probably do with maybe being replaced. This is a new one. Then we've got calendula and geranium, I think that is. That's been going for a few years. In this bed here, it does need a bit of a de-weed actually. I'm not sure if anybody on this channel is going to be interested in like allotment gardening, but it's all to do with outdoors, and it's best if you become, well, I want to become as much self-sufficient really, so you're not having to spend the prices of a supermarket, you know, for really bad quality crops. I'd love to be properly self-sufficient one day, living off grid and growing and making my own stuff. So in here, we'll weed this in a bit. We've got lots of beetroot. You see the little beetroot thing coming up there. We've got some cabbages, and at the back we've got some kale growing. There might be some radishes and other things growing in here, I'm not quite sure. There's my kale, doing really well. I did plant more, but only two seem to have come up quite well. As some of this other stuff, I'm sure I did plant some more seeds in here, but I'm not very good at marking out what I plant, and yeah, I'm a bit useless at that. In here is a wildflower bed, which our dog's actually buried underneath here. She passed away last July I think, last July, and we've cut back loads of the hedge and the shrubs so I can fit more of a garden in here. And you know, when we did that, her grave ended up kind of like in the middle of everything, so we decided to just put a planter on it. I think this is cornflower blue. We've got some poppies growing, calendula. Yeah, this one is another potato plant, and I've just used I was just experimenting really. This year is mainly just experimenting, see how things grow, where I can grow them in my garden. Yeah, so I used a compost bag. Another tomato plant. That's lots of wood that needs chopping up, because I'm going to use all this space here, come down, because I've got some butternut squash to go in, and what else have I got to go in? Purple sprouting broccoli, Brussels sprouts. So the butternut squash will spread out quite a lot, I assume. I'm not sure if this will be the right place to put it. It should be a bit sheltered because of the hedge and everything. Nice smoke bush. Here at the front of our garden, we've got a hydrangea that looks like it's got a disease. Lots of wild stuff I've let grow, you know, to help with the bees. These are my dwarf borlotti beans. Borlotti beans, say it right. I've got some more growing there. Some more calendula. Courgette plant. I did have more in, but the wind's just battered it here. Completely battered it, so I don't know if that'll survive. More borlotti beans, some Liburnia. That courgette's, yeah, that's been ruined by the wind. Poppy. Another little poppy growing here. I mean, I'm not sure what's weeds here and what isn't, but I don't mind some weeds. More borlotti beans. And more borlotti beans there. I eat a lot of bean dishes. Cucumber plants. Not doing too bad. In this little boat here, what have I got? Marigold, calendula, Vibernia, rosemary. That's a weed, I think. Oh, it's got flowers on it though, we might keep that. Lavender, lavender. Not sure what that is. That's a curry plant. No, that might be sage actually. Oh, that's good if it's grown. I did plant some thyme and all sorts, but that seemed to die off a bit. And then around here, I planted tomato plants just to see how they do. But yeah, it's just an experiment on the front because I really don't know how anything will do here. It's very dry, very windy, gets full sun on it. I've noticed now I'm in my late 30s. What I want out of life is I just want to be in nature. I don't know, I feel trapped being stuck in a house too much and having things like cleaning and cooking and all that kind of stuff, and I just want to be outside and just be surrounded by everything that grows and the birds, and I don't know. I know there's other people that feel that way, that just feels more at home being outside. And I just like going for walks, and yeah, I'm not really bothered about material things as much anymore, you know, like high fashion and I don't know, the best beauty products, and I'd rather make my own stuff, to be honest, you know, the ones that I know how to. Yeah, so I've got some blackberry thorns here. What my thinking is, if I take off all these dead leaves and just have the thorns, the thorn stems, maybe if I put these around all of my beds, the slugs might stay off them. Ah, fuck. That's my thinking anyway. If it hurts me to touch it, it should hurt them. So that's what I'll do. As well as having a nice cup of tea. There's a lot of building work going off down the road a bit, so you can hear that. I'd love to just live in the middle of nowhere, perhaps just have like a cabin and acres of land and loads of animals, and as long as I'm near water, I like being near the sea. Yeah, I'd love fruit trees and beehives and lots of animals. Maybe we'll have to go up to Scotland. I'll probably be able to afford a place that's got loads of land attached to it. Problem is Scotland gets a bit cold, I think. Ah, fuck. Bring you back when this is done. I seem to be taking ages doing this. I think I'm tired. There's wood lice everywhere. I swear, my garden is just infested with wood lice. It drives me insane. I bet they're going to eat all my crops. Look, there's like a swarm of them. They're everywhere. I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up. Why are you here in my garden? There's a big compost pile you could be living in. Oh yeah, this job is taking me ages. Like I'm saying, I think I'm tired. I put some washing on this morning and got it out and put it on the line. It smells bloody awful. I think I forgot to put washing powder and fabric conditioner in it. I do actually live with a chronic illness, if anybody's interested. I started to get ill when Lily was 2. So how many years ago? How old is she? About 13 years ago. And a lot of nasty symptoms and things. And I was quite unwell for quite a long time, but I think the last year I don't eat ultra processed foods anymore. Well, I try not to. I had to give up gluten, dairy, came off a Depo injection, and my symptoms dramatically improved. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, but I don't think it's that I've got. I think it's more perhaps ME or things like that. I know ME runs in my family. But yeah, so I am doing a lot better. I've managed to get a lot more fitter and stronger, so I'm allowed to, I can walk better now these days compared to what I used to be able to. I could hardly walk before. So fingers crossed it stays that way. And when I'm feeling unwell sometimes in the morning, and I can't explain the feeling, it's like, I feel like you're dying almost. And I keep thinking, oh God, please don't make me get ill again. Please don't make me get that ill again. And then, I improve after a couple of hours. I am on a lot of medication. I think it's quite a common thing now, chronic illness. When I was younger, I abused my body so much with alcohol and whatever, and bad food, and I think what it does, I think, is it ruins your gut lining. And also, if you've been through traumatic things, your nervous system can be just all over the shop. So I've had to learn to kind of calm it down, really, and become more at peace with things, and forgive everything, forgive yourself or whatever's gone on in your life, and just reset the whole system, and it does help. This is taking forever. It's annoying me. I'm just going to sit here, drink my cup of tea. I like to just sit here sometimes and just stare at the runner beans and things like that, like a weirdo. But yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this tea. And then I've got to go in. I might have something to eat actually, because I'm pretty hungry. Got to hoover and mop. I might have to do that washing again because it's a bit stinky. Yeah. And then I'll bring you back when I do something else. Okay, so been lying down for a bit. Problem is when you're growing vegetables and stuff, you feel guilty for just lying in the sun. But I really need to, because there's high winds coming tomorrow, I need to kind of support the beans around the front, because that's where the wind batters everything. So I was thinking, if I find some sticks that are in this pile, tie them on a string, kind of build like a makeshift wall with wood, maybe it might protect them a little bit. So I think we're going to have like 45 mile-an-hour winds or something for tomorrow and Thursday. So yeah, I want to protect them as much as I can. I don't think these sticks are going to work. They're just going to blow over. Maybe some of them, I think maybe a makeshift fence or something to help protect them. They're doing alright. Got loads of these coming up. Lots of bean dishes. It's the next day and we've got the winds and the heavy rain. So yeah, this is like autumn weather. Oh, I'm not sure my garden's going to like this. I don't really want to go out in this today. Looks like it's flooding. Heavy rain. This is the view from the window. Everything's getting battered. I can show you what's growing inside. It's a bit dark in here. We've got some basil, some parsnips. In here my cat knocked this tray over and mixed up all the labels, but so far I think there's chilli, sprouts and broccoli. There's more broccoli, some butternut squash and more sprouts and broccoli. So I'm just going to let them get a bit bigger and then I'm going to pop them in. It's not quite time yet to pop some of them in and I need to find some space for them. But yeah, such a dull, horrible day.